It's Subverted Tropes, a podcast about movies, featuring your hosts Daniel Spencer and Kate Harlow. Welcome to another episode of Subverted Tropes. I'm Dan.
I'm Kate.
And we are recording this on December 1st.
It is officially Christmas time, not just holiday season.
It's Christmas. Happy Christmas.
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Crisis.
We're never going to stop quoting Vines, guys.
We will never stop quoting Vines. I ain't gonna never stop quoting you, Vine.
Okay. So this week I have taken the helm because we are hitting two, not just one, two of my favorite specials. These are as much tradition to me as I think Muppet Christmas Carol was to the Spencer family.
One of them used to be a big tradition for us, and one has always been a big tradition for the Spencer family as well.
Yeah. So this week we are hitting two Jim Henson helmed creations.
Because Jim Henson and Christmas go
Muppets
hand in hand.
And Christmas.
Muppets and Christmas, which I think we talked about in our last episode. They're just so good.
They go together. So today we are touching on the Christmas toy.
I was going to say let our audience guess. Hey, audience, tweet at us what you think we're about to be talking about.
No spoilers. Don't listen to the end of the episode before tweeting.
Good guess at...
Nobody tweets at us but us.
Casbah, that's true.
No, that's not true.
That's true. Good guess, Lindsay Nelson.
Hey!
Of Historical Hotties podcast. Fantastic show.
If your other guess was Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas, you were also correct. Those are the two that we are touching on today. Emmet Otter, I hesitate to say it was my mom's favorite because it was not as big a classic in my household during my youth as I think it was during my eldest brother's youth. Mm-hmm. But the Christmas toy was like one of the top ones for my mom when I was young.
Your eldest brother, who just had a baby.
It's true. I got a new nephew, and his name is his dad's name and also my dad's name. So we're just calling him D3.
It's pretty adorable. He is very adorable, and we got a great picture of him where he looks very shocked.
My niece and my nephew both have served up some really incredible side-eye in their infancies.
It's very impressive.
I think it must be genetic, to be honest. Because like that level of side-eye is something that I work towards. And I think all of my hard work in my life has transferred to them.
You merely adapted the side-eye. I was born into it.
Beautiful.
Let's get to talking about these specials.
Let's do.
So neither of these are movies. They're both Christmas specials.
Christmas specials. They are referred to as films in their various online articles, or I've just been calling them shorts or a short movie. Because in honesty, the production had as much effort as any of the bigger Henson productions. It's just that the scale of the story was very much different.
I think that's fair.
So if we're going chronologically in time, Emmet Otter is first, but examining these, I personally think that Emmet Otter has more tropes, and because of that, I'm gonna finish up with that one, just because our order of operations usually lands on tropes at the end to wrap things up. So in effort to work with that, I'm starting with the Christmas toy. Shall we?
Let's.
The Christmas toy was released in 1986, produced by Jim Henson and directed by Eric Till. The story follows a playroom of toys that come to life whenever any humans aren't around. And I would like to point out this was 9 years before the release of Toy Story. They did it first. I was always very salty about that. But like, I think it's a fun concept, and I think it was well encapsulated by the Christmas toy. And then I think I would be completely and totally shocked if Toy Story didn't credit it in any way for being an inspiration. But playroom full of toys that come to life when any humans aren't around. It follows Rugby the Tiber.
Oh, Rugby the Tiber.
Rugby.
He came from Tiberia, didn't he?
Yes. Rugby the Tiger who believes he will be unwrapped again Christmas morning as he had been the year before, not understanding that there's a new toy every year, as his fellow toy Apple the doll had been the Christmas toy the year before Rugby arrived. Rugby mounts an effort to get downstairs to the living room to get into place and finds the new toy Meteora, who must be reined in after misunderstanding that she is a toy and not a queen dealing with a world of aliens.
I mean, that seems a little derivative.
How so?
On Toy Story's part. One toy is jealous of what the new toy is going to be, and the new toy thinks that they're dealing with aliens and doesn't realize they're a toy.
Oh, wait, yeah. Don't at me, John Lasseter.
Also, I would be remiss if I didn't make a Linkin Park joke with Meteora. This movie was incredibly ahead of its time, considering that the kid was getting a gift of an album that wouldn't come out for 30 years, maybe?
86.
20 years? 25.
86, 96, 06.
Oh, snap.
I don't know why I'm, like 20, 25-ish. Anyway, while you do that math, the short movie first aired on ABC Channel on December 6th of 1986. It was sponsored by Kraft Foods. Since then, it was released to VHS and later DVD in 1993 and 2008, respectively. The film was originally introduced by Kermit, but when the DVD edition was released, Kermit had to be edited out due to the legal issues after the sale of the Muppets to Disney. And then I've got some information about the voice actors, but I want to see if you can guess who was what, who did what other work. But I will point out that there's delightfully savage plot explanation on Wikipedia that points out the plot hole that Rugby hasn't thought of. If he goes downstairs and is unwrapped the next morning, he will freeze and die because he is out of place and not in the playroom where he had been left.
Oh, that's right.
I screen capped it because it's just so funny.
That's pretty brilliant.
We'll put it on the blog.
Also,
the article
17 years.
17 years. Beautiful.
17 years ahead of its time.
Beautiful. The Wikipedia article also notes that it would like an improved plot explanation, but nobody's done that since the request was put in 2013.
Beautiful.
So yeah, that's that. Aside from some notes and stuff about the voice actors, that's all I've got for Christmas Toys. So let's go watch it.
Okay. Yeah, let's go watch it. We'll be right back. Old friends, new friends. This is the most I can sing without being sued by Disney.
Yes, well done, my love.
It's so darling.
Yes.
It's so fun.
It's incredibly sweet. It's not having really watched it with a critical eye in a long time. I noticed things about it that I hadn't noticed before, like the details of Mew sitting next to Mewtwo. In my mind, they were always just two different colors of the same toy. Mm-hmm. But this time it occurred to me that really what it is that Mew is just a toy that has been loved and chewed up by a cat.
Very chewed.
And Balthazar, the teddy bear.
Oh.
I never noticed how he really does look very old and weathered. Again, a toy that has been loved for quite a long time.
And very reminiscent of, premonition?
Precognizant? Premonition.
Yeah, very premonition of, I can't remember his name.
I don't remember it either.
Hugs Matoots. Lotso Huggin' Bear.
Lotso. Yeah, that's what it is.
Like an old, worn bear who walks with a cane.
Yeah, it's pretty eerie.
I mean, they're both great.
Yes.
I don't think Balthazar is as fucking evil.
No, I don't think Balthazar's evil at all.
We don't know. We don't know him well enough. He tells some perverted story of Christmas that involves, new toys being loved and old toys being cast out.
Okay.
And is probably trying to start a toy war.
Probably. That's probably what's happening. That's probably the B plot of the movie.
The Christmas Toy 2. War on Christmas.
So the Christmas Toy actually did spin off into a show called The Secret Life of Toys that started in 1994. So it could well be that was the story of the wars.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know that for a fact. So the featured voices, hit me with them. Who do you recognize? Rugby Tiger.
Let me try and remember the names of the actual performers.
Mm-hmm.
The one who does Gonzo, which is Dave Gultz.
Yep. He also is the voice of Dr. Bunsen Honeydew,
Of
Waldorf, Zoot, Chip, and Randy the Pig. And he was also, he was in on almost every single solitary other Henson production. So he was in,
Dave Gultz is...
He was also in Fraggle Rock. He was also in Dark Crystal.
Dave Gultz is a mainstay of Muppet productions.
Do you recognize the voice of Apple the Doll?
Oh, this one was driving me crazy the whole time because I do, but I don't. I wasn't able to officially place
Apple
it.
the Doll was voiced by Catherine Mullen. She has an incredibly long history with the Muppets, starting with the Muppet Show in its 3rd season. She also was a part of The Great Muppet Caper.
Oh my
Muppet
God,
movie.
The Great Muppet Caper does not get the love and respect it deserves.
The Muppet movie, The Muppets Celebrate Jim Henson, The Muppets Go to Hollywood, Muppets Go to the Movies, Muppets Take Manhattan. And that's just her Henson projects. She was also in Dark Crystal and Labyrinth. She was also the voice of Allegra in Allegra's Window.
Oh, damn. I hadn't thought about Allegra's Window
In forever, right?
in a long time. Willing to put money on the fact that my mom has a Christmas special from it.
I'm not going to take you on that bet because I know you're right.
It's probably a good call.
Balthazar the teddy bear. The teddy bear. Hate a teddy bear. Hate a teddy bear.
You want to go to a teddy bar? Yeah, so I know he obviously another Muppet mainstay, and I'm trying to think of who else. I know in Muppet Christmas Carol that he was Mr. Applegate, but I don't know the performer's name.
So that was Jerry Nelson.
Oh, Jerry Nelson.
Who was also the first puppeteer to ever perform Mr. Snuffleupagus. He also is the voice of the Count and numerous others from across Muppet Show and Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Belmont the Rocking Horse.
I got nothing on this one.
I'll give you a hint. They were not in a Muppet Christmas Carol.
Well, that narrows the field. I can't.
Richard Hunt.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well,
as we discussed in our last episode, he was the voice of Scooter. Very sadly passed away of AIDS, but was obviously around for this project. He not just the voice of Scooter, he was also the original voice of Statler, Janice, Beaker, and Sweetums. And also, fun fact, he shared the voice work of Miss Piggy with Frank Oz until the last quarter of the first season of The Muppet Show.
that's so great.
I don't have any other information on the woman who voiced Meteora. Her name is Camille Benora. And let's see, Cruiser. Any guesses on Cruiser?
That was Brian Henson.
That was definitely Brian Henson. And the Jack in the Box.
I believe that was Jack Nader Thebix,
No, some guy
also
named
known
Jim.
as Jack in the Box. Hey!
No, just some dude named Jim.
Oh yeah. Was that Jimmery P. Henson?
Yeah. And then, got any guesses on who is Mew the cat toy?
Oh, I'm so bad at this right now. I'm really ashamed of myself. I should know the names of these performers, and it's past midnight. I'm very sleepy.
I don't expect you to have a complete Rolodex of who, what's what, in, when, where. That was Steve Whitmire, who, as we discussed on the last episode, stepped into Jim Henson's shoes voicing Kermit and others following Henson's death.
So do we want to get into the tropes?
Yeah.
If somebody sees you not being normal, you're going to die.
Is that a trope? Okay.
So that's been a trope of the United States of America since 1776.
Okay, that's fair. I didn't know if that was a trope so much as like My Teenage Nightmare.
A sad truth.
That's true. My Teenage Nightmares, mostly sad truths.
I mean, reliving the glory days.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Or being confronted with the truth about the glory days and flat out refusing to accept it anyway.
Yep. Not listening to people when they tell you that you are doing something dangerous.
treating your best friend like garbage and having them be completely loyal and starry-eyed anyway. Mew deserved better.
Mew deserved
all
better.
along.
I want to start a hashtag. Hashtag Mew deserved better.
People are just going to think it's Pokemon.
We do have the totally not sexist joke of woman takes so long getting ready that she misses the whole thing. With the Barbie-like character.
One thing that I noticed that I had never picked up on before is that at the beginning, she has completely flat hair. And then once she's got her cute little army outfit on towards the end, it's completely curly. Which says that, like, she doesn't just have a complete wardrobe and autonomy. She has a full salon.
Yeah. She's got a curling iron.
No. That many curls. That is not curling iron work.
No.
That is. I mean, maybe hot rollers, maybe, but still.
She's got an impressive kit. Definitely gather round and I'll tell you about
Gather
Christmas.
round, children. Let me tell you the story.
Gather round. Let me tell the story of the Black Forest ham. Gather
Muppets.
round while we tell you about Christmas. You don't know about Christmas?
Old character points out an incredibly sore spot or another character as like a, man, she sure didn't like that. Everybody remember that? Kind of like your grandmother reminding you of when you went through puberty.
Character that you think is dead comes back to life through the power of love / friendship / song.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. Next year's new exciting thing is obviously a sex toy.
Sex toy might not be,
I'm not
a
saying
dominatrix.
No. I'm not saying for use in sex, but like obviously a character from a porno.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Meteora is drag queen extraordinaire.
Aggressively sexual.
I'm here for it.
Oh no, I super am too.
Also here for Cruiser, let's be honest.
Those cab fares just don't exist in today's America, and I need them.
$1 at the drop and 10 cents a mile.
Amazing.
That's it. I'm going to start a ride-sharing app called Cruiser. It's going to be CRZR. And that's going to be the fare. It's just going to be 10 cents a mile.
You'll be bankrupt immediately.
That is correct.
Congratulations. Common sense character gets pulled into the action, and then it regrets it the entire time.
Overly loyal friend sacrifices self for the piece of shit friend.
Piece of shit makes good on Christmas.
Old friends, new friends are all together at Christmas.
Child takes time to reassure all toys that she loves them equally.
A song that maybe goes on a little bit too long about how incredible Meteora is.
God, I forget that song every damn time, and I love it.
So that's probably going to do it for the Christmas toy.
So that's going to do it for the Christmas toy, and we will pick up with Emmet Otter's Christmas.
Yes,
Jug Band Christmas.
Emmet Otter's Jug Band. We are going to take a brief intermission. We're going to go out to the lobby and have some popping corn and maybe some junior mints.
I might get a large fountain drink.
This episode brought to you by Fountain Drinks. And we're back for round two.
Round two. So this time we are going to be discussing Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Oh, Emmet.
Oh, Emmet. I thought you said, oh, wham it. And I was like,
Oh, wham it.
I was very confused.
Going to jitterbug.
I'm still very confused.
Going to jitterbug.
Okay.
Wake me up before you go. I whammed it.
You did. You whammed it. It was great. Okay. What's your family history with Emmet Otter? Because I know our mothers bonded over it and it was super adorable.
It was. So my family, my mother's side of the family particularly, has always had a real strong association with this. My grandmother really loved it.
Aww.
And she passed away when I was a few months old. And particularly the song When the River Meets the Sea has a very, like, everyone on my mom's side of the family connects that song with my grandmother. And it's very sweet. And there's so many just great moments in this that we really love. And if you mention 50 cents to my sister, she and I both will go, half of 50 cents, half of 50 cents. Which is one of the lines from the movie. So, yeah, it's just been a family favorite and a staple from day one.
Yes. I would say same with my family. It's maybe not. It wasn't as much the thing during my childhood because, as I mentioned earlier, the Christmas toy was really the one that me and my mom bonded about. But Emmet Otter, she had the book that she used to read to my oldest brother. Yeah, so like Emmet Otter is in her heart real hard.
Oh my God, that's so great.
So
can we watch Emmet Otter while we're home? Like home for you, I mean home with your family this Christmas?
I will certainly suggest it.
I want to experience that with your mom.
I will wager whatever evening, well, one of the evenings, whatever evening we decide is easier to pull that off with, I will wager that if you suggest it while dinner is being cooked, she will happily put it on.
Will make my heart very happy.
That will make my heart very happy too. Okay, so Emmet Otter's Drug Band Christmas was released in 1977, produced and directed by Jim Henson. The story's basically Gift of the Magi, but with the most adorable otters and woodland creatures you can imagine.
The cutest otters.
They're so cute.
They look just like
They're
Boodle.
so cute, they're little otters. The music was also written by Paul Williams, who we'll recognize from our last episode, did the writing for A Muppet Christmas Carol. And also, we didn't mention it last time, he won the Grammy for Rainbow Connection from the Muppet movie.
Paul Williams is so great with his amazing work with the Muppets and all the wonderful music he did. And of course, everybody knows him mostly from his most famous acting role ever, Little Enos in Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah. He's a very, very multi-talented person. Technically, the film marks a departure for the production of any Muppet production. Instead of only working with lifted platform stages, the set was created and then pieces were cut out of it so the puppets could be moved around through it, allowing them more depth within the set. It was also the first time that any remote-controlled effects were used in a Muppet production.
Ooh, the car, I assume.
Probably. But I mean, we can keep our eyes out, and I would be happy to try and guess. The original version was narrated by Kermit, but many of the releases that you see after that were have him edited out, again, following the sale of the Muppets to Disney in 2004. Notably, Kermit's appearances were completely left intact when Emmet Otter aired on ABC and ABC Family in 2015 before it turned to the Freeform network, because it was a Disney property, so they could leave it. I don't have any information about the VHS copy. I know your mom's copy was recorded from when it was on HBO. She's mentioned that a couple times.
Yeah. So I didn't mention this earlier. The copy that we had of A Christmas Toy was recorded from the television, so that when it went to commercials or came back from, we normally got maybe 3 or 4 seconds of a Nickelodeon "We'll be right back" thing, and it was always amazing.
Amazing. Emmet Otter Special Edition DVD was released in 2013 with an hour-long behind-the-scenes special and a song that had been recorded but not included in the final cut. In 2017, to celebrate the 30th anniversary, 30 years, can you believe it?
Dang.
A special album was recorded by Matt Suricek? I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. But it's
graining.
It is officially licensed though, so it is the covers are allowed. Also, one of the songs, and it's escaping me right now, but when the Muppet movie of the more recent one written by Jason Segel. Yeah, Jason Segel. When that was released, there was an album released called The Green Album, and it had a bunch of bands covering Muppet songs. Nope, Muppet songs. And one of the songs from Emmet Otter is on there. I don't remember which one.
Oh,
it is adorable. It was also super amazing because one of our favorite bands in the whole wide world, OK Go, did the Muppet Show theme, and then they did a video with the Muppets, which was just delightful in every way. Actually, I think that's I think that's about everything. I mean, I've got some other stuff, but we can come back to that after.
Perfect. Well, let's go watch this.
Let's go watch this. And we're back.
Indeed.
It's so good.
It's so good. I absolutely love it. First of all, the puppets are so frickin' adorable.
They're literally the cutest.
The songs are amazing.
One of the things I love most is that they're not specifically Christmas songs.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely Christmas special, but like the music of it isn't 100% saccharine.
Yeah, I don't think
holiday.
I'm trying to think if any of them are like specifically Christmas. Like if any of them mention anything Christmas in them. I don't think they do.
I don't think they do, and I like it.
It's great.
It also, I mentioned it to you while we were watching. It never clicked with me until very recently how kind of country and honky tonk the aesthetics of almost all the Muppet music is.
Yeah,
And
like
I love it.
you get a lot of banjo in there.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yes. And it's so great. So good. So the special itself was nominated for 4 Emmy Awards. Outstanding Children's Program for David Laser.
Pumpkins.
David S. Pumpkins. No. David Laser, executive producer, and Jim Henson, producer. Outstanding Individual Achievement for Children's Programming for Callista Hendrickson and Sherry Emmet.
Emmet Otter.
Outstanding Individual Achievement for Children Programming for Paul Williams for the song When the River Meets the Sea. And Outstanding Individual Achievement for Children's Programming for Tom Wright, who did the lighting.
That fits. The lighting, particularly during River Bottom Nightmare Band, which is just like 70s.
It's amazing.
Fucking
It's so great.
suitcase keyboard, like perfect. Just so good. Just so good.
It is really extraordinary, and I love it. Speaking of how much we love all of the Muppets in it, well, the puppety Muppets. See, this is one of those weird ones, and the Christmas Toy too. Really, the both of them. It's Henson Productions, but it's not specifically Muppets because Kermit's there, but then he usually disappears. So technically, they're just puppets.
They're just puppets, but they're by the Jim Henson Company.
With that said, many of the puppets from this special later made appearances in The Muppet Show, The Muppet Movie, and other Henson productions, unsurprisingly.
Of course, because they're great.
Adorable. The story was actually adapted to be a live stage show around holiday time of 2008 and 2009. It ran from like early December to early January, both of those years. Yeah,
that would be amazing.
I know. And I believe Paul Williams actually came in and wrote new songs specifically for the stage adaptations.
That's so good. You get to be you get a role in the show. Who are you?
I would only see myself being Ma Otter.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. There
aren't a lot of lady characters, and a lot of them are jerks.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's one of the things that has always irked me that foxes are always portrayed as the jerks. I have a fondness for foxes. I always have. The very, very first Beanie Baby I ever got was Sly the Fox.
Nice.
And his Beanie Baby birthday was the same date as my birthday. So
adorable.
My mother and I saw that as fate, obviously. And since then, my mom has been buying me Sly the Fox. She used to send me one every year that I went away to camp. She bought me a new one when I moved from Buffalo down to North Carolina. I have easily 12 or more Beanie Foxes.
Nice. I love it. I think if I were to be in the stage show of this, I'd want to be Chuck, the leader of the gang from River Bottom. No, I'm not hungry. I'm hungry.
The sound waves on that are amazing.
Incredible.
So but I could also very, very much see you as Wendell.
Yeah, they're really biting today. I would love to be Wendell too.
I can absolutely see you as Wendell. So, let's play this game again.
Okay.
Who was what voice?
Oh, see, this one's a lot harder, I think, because I've just so attached those voices to each of those puppets.
Mm-hmm. Let's start with Emmet.
I cannot place Emmet.
That is Jerry Nelson.
Jerry Nelson.
Mm-hmm. Jerry Nelson again.
Ma Otter was voiced by the same person who voices Miss Piggy.
Yes, but her singing voice was Marilyn Sokol. Sokol? But yes, Alice Otter, Ma Otter, was played by Frank Oz.
That's it. Frank Oz. That's the name that I should have known.
Who was also the voice and performer of Chuck Stoat, who did the voice of Harvey Beaver, Howard Snake, and Mayor Harrison Fox. If you focus on the mayor's voice, I think you might be able to pick it out easier.
Can't place it.
That was Jim Henson.
See, I was going to guess that, but it would have just been a guess, and I didn't want to do that.
Who was Charlie Muskrat, Fred Lizard, and George Rabbit. I'll give you a hint. Was also one of the people who used to voice Miss Piggy.
Oh, well, in that case, we're talking, like, I mean, just definitely it's going to be Jerry Jewell.
Richard Hunt.
Richard Hunt.
Voice of Scooter.
Yeah.
And who originally shared the work of Miss Piggy with Frank Oz. Okay, this one you totally have to be able to get. Who is the voice of Wendell?
I just have such a hard time separating the voices. Like with The Christmas Gift, I think I can do it a lot easier, but like these characters are all so entrenched in my mind as those characters that like most good Disney movies, I have a hard time
picking them apart. So this is one of the other reasons I wanted to do Emmet Otter second, because almost every single one of these actors was also in Christmas Toy, which also means they were in a million other things that we've seen since then. That was Dave Goelz.
Dave Goelz.
He was also Popeye the Catfish and Will Possum. And then the only one of the cast who was not in, well, aside from Frank Oz, but the only one of the primary voice cast that was not in The Christmas Toy was Erin Oscar, who was most of the female voices: Gretchen Fox, Hetty Muskrat, Mrs. Mink, and Old Lady Possum. You want to discuss the tropes?
Yeah, let's talk the tropes.
Gift of the Magi as an overarching trope.
Kind of, but it's not quite Gift of the Magi.
It's not quite.
Gift of the Magi is like, I gave away this thing of mine to get you something, and this one is, I destroyed this thing of yours so that I could get you something better.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a major plot flaw that they both get rid of their main means of livelihood for a chance to maybe get a thing of enjoyment.
Yeah. Yeah, not the most well thought out. But then again, Alice did marry a snake oil salesman.
Yeah, but there aren't enough people who want to oil a snake. I don't know that it's a trope, but it's just so beautifully executed. That first song.
Oh, God. The first song
is called the bathing suit your grandmother wore.
And it's just a 2.5 minute long your grandma joke.
It's so great.
It starts off just as there was a lady who had a generous silhouette and wore a gigantic bathing suit. And they've made
curtains and handkerchiefs
and clothing for the poor from the one bathing suit that your grandma Otter wore.
It's so great.
It's so hilarious. Problematic? Yeah, I mean, probably, but
I mean, if that's as problematic, you know what? If they're if they're singing about their own grandmother,
that's a very good point.
It's very different than like, hey, stranger.
Yo mama.
No, it's like, hey, family, our mom.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's like as wholesome as you can make a your mom joke. Have it coming out of little tiny adorable woodland creatures.
Oh, yes.
And they're talking about one of their own.
This talent contest gives me just as much as I need to make this thing happen. Mm-hmm. If I win the talent contest, I can do this thing.
Mm-hmm. Opportunity for money or a fortune comes up just when you need it.
Sketchy outsider gang drives a fast and loud car.
Multiple. I always forget that they've got the snowmobiles,
the snowmobiles. Too. Yeah. Let's bring our snowmobiles from River Bottom all the way to...
Where did they bring them, though? Because they could not... There was no room in that car.
Yeah,
They must have stolen them from locals.
Or they were put up at a hotel. I'll bet they were visiting... I forget the name of the town. But I'll bet they were visiting there on business, probably. And so they brought their snowmobiles, and those were parked in the garage of the hotel.
But I don't understand how they got them there to begin with. Like, did they have one gigantic trailer covered in snowmobiles, or did they drive the snowmobiles and they hitched their car up to the trailer, or was the car like a rental?
The car was probably a rental,
I don't feel like the town had a big enough population to justify a rental car place.
especially a rental car that allowed you to hook a fish tank onto the back of it.
Yeah. Yeah, about that.
Yeah, but probably.
I love that fish, though. Especially
the
during
fish is great.
the River Bottom Nightmare Band
That
song.
fish during the River Bottom Nightmare
It's
Band
amazing.
song
It's
is
my
basically
favorite thing.
just like the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones guy on stage who just dances.
But also, he takes the opportunity to spray water out of his mouth frequently throughout the song, which is very distracting and probably dangerous with all of those wires.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But that band was into danger.
That band was they don't want to learn, but
But they hate what they
don't
understand. I love it. I love it so much.
River Bottom Nightmare Band.
Oh, so good. I'm trying to think. Those rock and rollers are dangerous. That's
Oh yeah,
definitely a
rock and
trope.
roll is dangerous. The trope of the good guys don't win the big thing, but win in other ways.
Yes.
River Bottom Nightmare Band won $50, but then Otters and their friends won long-standing jobs.
Which I'm willing to bet the River Bottom Nightmare Band didn't want anyway.
Yeah, no, they probably didn't want that job.
But them country peoples is a little bit dopey and slow, but they sure are sweet.
Yep, that's always a fun one.
Community talent shows are terrible. I can say that as somebody who's been in many terrible community talent shows.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite memories, and I think I've told you about this one before, but I'm sure you'll be just as delighted the second time around. My dance troupe was every year we were in this local town Christmas show, which was basically was made up of like our dance troupe, this ridiculously ancient barbershop quartet, and then like whoever around the town felt like singing some Christmas carols on stage. So one year there was this woman who like thought herself really like the local vampy I don't want to it was supposed to be vaguely suggestive. She was sitting on top of a piano, which did not need to be sat atop of, but she was sitting atop a piano singing a slow sultry rendition of some Christmas song, and my father took the opportunity to do shadow puppets on her.
Oh my god. Your dad is a blessing.
I know. And I don't know if it was that year or if it was another year, but my mother told me that somebody like came in and saw her and my dad and my friends sitting down to the audience and like rushed over to try and get seats near them. They were like, "We're always so happy when you're here. You're always having such a good time at this show."
Oh, that's so great.
Yes. People have suggested me that perhaps we ought to apologize to the woman. I don't think she noticed or really cared. She was really into her performance.
That's awesome.
So everything my dad added, that was just for him.
My my parents would go to shows at like our school when we were doing stuff, and they would deface the hell out of the programs.
Part of Dad's shadow puppet story is more fun when he was doing like the hand bird.
So great. I can see your dad doing that and just having a real self-satisfied grin on his face.
Oh yeah.
Katie, look. It's a bird.
The best part was that I've never sat in the audience with them. I was backstage. I heard about all of it later.
Mame, look. It's a bird.
It's probably.
What? I won't do it while Katie's out.
Yep.
I love doing impersonations of your father.
You haven't gotten the voice down just quite yet.
No.
You have the dialogue.
I've got the dialogue down. The voice is a lot harder to do.
It is.
But
it is.
anyway, I think that's going to be it for us tonight.
One last note. If you want to visit Ma Otter and Emmet, you can visit them at the Center for Puppetry Arts in Alabama. In Atlanta.
Oh, I would love to do that.
I want to do that. Can we do that? Can we
Yeah.
make that? Can we make that a thing next year? I want to take Odie.
Yes, definitely.
So that's going to be it for us.
Thanks so much for listening. As always, you can find us on Twitter at Subverted Tropes. And we've got YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you find your podcasts.
Podbean.
Oh, yeah, Podbean, like the main place that hosts us.
If you want to send us any emails, we're trying to get ourselves in order enough to know what we're going to be doing for next year. So if you have any suggestions or requests, please let us know. You can email us at subvertedtropecast@gmail.com. And also look for our posts on the blog, subvertedtropecast.wordpress.com. We always try to put up something about each episode. We like to list our sources first and foremost, but we also have a lot of fun just writing up
Just
stuff.
writing up some silly things.
Silly things. Thank you as always to our amazing logo designer, Gracie Boland. You can find her on Instagram at a fandom doodler, and her Etsy address is That Crazy Princess. She's actually running a holiday special right now. I don't know the details of it, but if you look it up, you can find some great discounts. So take the opportunity, get something adorable for yourself or any of your loved ones for the holidays.
I'd like to take a few minutes to plug some podcasts and some friends of ours in the local North Carolina area. Particularly, we've got section328.com and their podcast Cheaters Never Win. So if you are a Carolina Hurricanes fan or a hockey fan in general, they always have a really fun show. And
they're super fun guys. It's not any secret to anybody who knows us really well that we are Caniacs, and we are very loyal to our home base, which is Section 328.
that is very right. There's a great spin-off wrestling podcast held by another couple of folks who are writers in the section328.com group. That podcast is called Cheaters Never Pin, and it is a blast. Also, a few podcasts that I particularly have fallen in love with recently. We've got Your Fave is Problematic, that breaks down things that you love from your childhood and the issues therein. We've got Historical Hotties. Historically Hot is their Twitter. It's a couple of sisters who talk about certain figures from history, and they pit two against each other each episode, three if they have a special guest, and rate them based off of a few different points of criteria, only one of which is physical attractiveness. And it's just so much fun. And also, if you're a fan of the Pacific Northwest or just creepy stories in general, The Ouija Broads is so much fun. I absolutely love listening to their stuff. They just recently had an episode on historical figure Stagecoach Mary, who is one of the most just badass individuals this country has ever known.
Absolutely. And then on the bigger scale, we have always been fans of My Brother and Me, The Dollop,
The Adventure Zone.
The Adventure Zone, Last Podcast on the Left, Schmanners. Look, there's just so much out there. Quit your job. Just listen to podcasts.
If I could make money just listening to podcasts, oh boy, would I. If I got paid per podcast I listen to, I would have enough money to quit my job because I have a problem with listening to podcasts.
Also, check out Drunk Disney. Check out
Drunk
Sawbones. Just listen to everything, guys. Listen to all of the things. My Favorite Murder. Travis McElroy recently started another one called Run, a Doctor Who fan cast. And they are going through every episode, starting with the 2005 reboot with Christopher Eccleston. It's wonderful. I mean, come on. It's Doctor Who.
There's a bunch of great podcasts out there, and we encourage you to go out there and listen. I love Welcome to Night Vale, Within the Wires, Alice Isn't Dead, everything that Welcome to Night Vale presents offers. And it's just, I love podcasts, and I think you should go out there and find the ones that you love as well.
Yeah, it's amazing how much there is, and there's something that speaks to every single interest that could possibly be. And if there's nothing out there that speaks directly to you, you start it.
That shit yourself.
Do it yourself.
It's not that difficult to make a podcast,
It's
and
super
it
fun.
is a lot of fun.
I mean, this might come off as a little bit conceited, but guys, one of my favorite podcasts is this one because I love Dan and I love talking about movies with him, and it's fun. And if you're not having fun doing something that you're creating, then take a break from it and come back to it later, because the most important thing is that you have fun.
That's right. And we're just going to go ahead and take a step down off our soapboxes now.
I'm not gonna, because it makes me look taller.
That's a very good point. Now that I'm off my soapbox,
I like it up
you're
here.
only like an inch shorter than I am. Anyway,
I want a taller soapbox.
thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening, and we hope that you're having a wonderful holiday season or a wonderful December. or a wonderful end of 2017, because
Good riddance, 2017.
this year has been, I'd venture to say, more of a dumpster fire than 2016 was.
Could we ask our friends to get married on New Year's Eve again? Because that went real well.
Yes, that would be great. If any of you are getting married on New Year's Eve,
Invite us.
invite us.
We're crazy fun at a party.
We're crazy fun at weddings. I'll show up in a goofy suit. Kate
I will
show
color
up
coordinate in
looking amazing.
Accordingly.
I'm going to dance like a goofball. Kate will dance and it will be amazing. And it's just going to be a good time. So invite us. Just send us an email at our Gmail.
This isn't specifically about holidays. Anytime. Do you want us to come have fun at your wedding? Because we will.
We will. Hell,
We'll bring the party.
We'll bring the podcast stuff. We'll do a live show, or we'll just record an episode with you guys on it, and we'll all talk about the production leading up to your wedding, and then we'll talk about the tropes in your wedding. It'll be great.
Guys, I can't believe they did that trope where they get married.
Yeah, and the whole trope of throwing the bouquet and garter. I like the way they subverted that into
a handoff. It was like a relay race. It was weird.
It was very interesting. It worked well.
I don't mean weird to be insulting. I mean weird to be very motivating. Good job, guys. Happy
wedding. Instead of throwing rice, they made sure everybody was throwing rocks.
Yeah, I didn't like that part so much. I got
broadcasting the end of this podcast from the hospital. Okay, this ending has gone off the rails.
We've gone so far off the rails.
Thanks so much. Good night, guys.